just to relax, I'm going to do a couple of propane explosions first to get us in the mood here. Jeez! Hey, what's up, fellas? I got a good one here today. What we're looking at here is a refractory lined banjo burner that I'm building for a customer for a steam boiler that's going to be used in an autoclave. But this was one of those days where things don't go well. I tried to get an ignition port to work on the side of this thing,
to work
and it
from
didn't,
this
no matter
port.
what I did. So we had to cut a hole in the side of this thing after
We're going to chisel away
the
this
concrete wasn't
refractory.
fully cured yet. That's why I wasn't able to
going
weld it
to
so well. I
add
learned a
a
lesson
connection
there.
for the
You need
spark
to
plug.
weld everything first. The concrete with a little bit of moisture in it caused a bunch of steam and porosity on me, but other than that, I'm going to go back over it and weld it again once the concrete's fully dry. So we got a new ignition port on this thing, and we got all that worked out after some more testing, of course.
About
And this is the nozzle
250
that's going to be used to run
there.
this thing. This is about 250 psi of pressure here, and just wanted to show you guys what's
really well.
inside doing the vaporization for us. So
Even at
this
very
right
low
here
valve
is
settings.
a propane sparge, a 4-port sparge that's used for the ignition process. We have that spray nozzle on an articulating arm so we can determine the optimum angle of attack, and we'll be taking note of those angles once we get this thing dialed in. It will not ignite without the propane assistance. The spark plug is running, and you can see there it's just not a hot enough spark. So here we go with the propane assist, and we got the thing running, but it runs nothing like the propane version of this burner. We've all seen how well the banjo burner runs on propane. This is kind of giving it a bad name showing it off like this, but look at the amount of smoke we're getting, and notice on the right-hand side of the combustion chamber, we're getting
Okay,
this
so the
stream
propane ignition assist did
unburnt
work.
fuel being forced out of the
Running
combustion
kind of
chamber
weird
and
though. I
down
don't
the
know if we
burner.
got too much fuel or what.
See it there on the right-hand side, that
I
white
don't like
plume? So that's a big problem. And one of my first thoughts was, well, just plug the whole place right there. But that ain't going to do us any good for uniform distribution of heat on the bottom of this boiler. So I kind of messed around with that possibility of welding those holes shut by simulating that by just setting some metal on top of this thing, and it still smokes like a charcoal fire or a charcoal production forge or something. So that's not going to work. So this is what it looks like after testing. I put about 22 hours into this thing and spent a lot of money, and boy am I terrified about right now. So this was my solution to the problem. This is a consolidation plate, and it is going to consolidate the heat and exhaust gases from those tiny little flame spires, and hopefully those are going to help vaporize the fuel spires that are shooting out of unburnt fuel there. So we're getting this unburnt fuel column shooting out right here on the burner. Hopefully this consolidation plate wins the day without any further modification.
I don't know if I want to weld this on here or not. It's excitement you want, huh? You're gonna get it.
So I definitely got lucky, guys. The consolidation plate won the day. It's gonna work. I need to make an actual mounting system for it. I'm gonna go ahead and build a completely different one. I may try and salvage that one and just put some connection brackets on it so that it can bolt down to the top of this. It's smoking a lot at first because I haven't quite learned how to light it yet. This is the first time I've run this thing on liquid fuel, but once it gets warmed up, it does indeed provide a smoke-free combustion. You just gotta let it warm up a second. I feel like there's a little bit more I could be doing. I've noticed I don't have the angle set correctly. I should have rotated that nozzle a little bit more to the right. I've got it shooting straight at a tangent almost, and that was not optimal in my previous testing, and yet we're still getting a smoke-free flame at this point. So it's just kind of a relief. I'm definitely feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday. This thing is doing phenomenal. We have no smoke combustion off of liquid fuel. I have several projects this is going to come in handy with. definitely very happy about that. Glad to see this thing working so well. This is definitely a relief. I went from doom and gloom to glory and triumph here for sure.
Damn it. And I didn't even have to use my AK. Damn, it's a good day.
All right, fellas. So we didn't get a chance to try the preheat. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. I shut things down because I blew that consolidation plate off again. I'm going to go ahead and get to work. I've got work to do. We've got this thing figured out. We know which road we're going down, so we're going to go ahead and build a plate that will bolt right onto the top of this thing, so when it burns out, it can be easily replaced. At the temperatures it's running at, I don't see it burning out. It's an 1/8 inch thick 304 stainless steel. It can handle those temperatures fairly well. But nonetheless, let's get at it and get some parts cut out on the plasma table, get this thing welded back together, and I'm so happy right now it was a success. I am not a complete failure in life like I was yesterday. That was a very expensive, gloomy, terrifying, terrible day.
It's working phenomenal. All right, fellas, so that was absolutely phenomenal results. We didn't even need to bust out the preheater. We're going to. I got a little greedy and turned the blower up higher, and it blew our plate off. We're calling that the consolidation plate because what it does is distributes the heat from those little spire flames into this area right here where we were getting unburnt fuel forced right out the top of the system before it could burn. This has a little bit of a swirl to it, so that definitely helped burn everything. That just worked amazing. So we're going to move forward with this particular design, and this is how we get these things to stop smoking on liquid fuel. I'm also curious to see what happens when we heat this fuel up to 300 degrees. We might get the blue flame action, but I've come to the conclusion that the blue flame is sometimes a velocity thing. You got to have a certain turbulence. We'll see.